Okay, so I am doing chart readings for people who have commented on my videos. Okay, looking at your chart here, you're currently running your Rahu Mahadasha. It's Rahu Saturn period that you're going through, okay? And that's the first thing that catches my eye because Rahu and Saturn together tend to bring major life lessons around patience, expectation, letting go of what no longer fits your life. Okay, why am I saying that? In your birth chart, Rahu is in the 5th house, while Saturn is connected to the 5th and 8th house. The 5th house, it rules your happiness, your creativity, your children, your future plans. And the 8th house brings change, uncertainty, transformation. Okay, so this period can feel like life is asking you to adjust your expectations and see things from a different perspective. The positive side is that Rahu can bring new opportunities, unusual connections, and unusual experiences that you've never expected. Okay, the negative side is overthinking, worrying about your future, chasing something that looks better than it actually is. Okay, what should you focus on over the coming year? Keep life simple. Don't make major decisions based on your fears or your anxiety or your urgency. Saturn will reward you for consistency, not for speed. Okay, so take your time, take it slow. Okay. Now, there's something you should watch out for. Be careful of unrealistic promises, unnecessary risk taking. Okay. Rahu can sometimes make things appear much bigger, more dramatic than they actually are. Okay, the good news is that this doesn't look like a period of loss. It looks like a period of realignment. The more you work with reality, the smoother this phase becomes. What I mean is, the less wishful thinking that you start having, this time period will get much smoother for you. And the biggest advice I can give you here is trust actions more than words, especially over the next 12 months. Okay, this is a tough time period anyway. Okay, thank you. Okay, so next question. Yes, this transit will still apply, but in your case, it gets filtered through your Mercury Saturn period. Okay, you're an Aquarius ascendant, and right now you're running the Mercury Mahadasha and Saturn Antardasha. So Mercury Saturn period. So Mercury rules your 5th house, and the 5th house is your future plans, your creativity, and so on. Your 8th house is the house of change. So Saturn in your ascendant lord, Saturn is your ascendant lord. So this period is less about quick wins and more about building something that is going to last. Looking at this month, June, okay, specifically your the Jupiter that has just entered Cancer, which is in your case is your 6th house. Many people will panic when they hear the 6th house because it's the house of routines, daily struggle, daily grind basically. But for you, this can actually be helpful with solving problems, improving your health routines, clearing debts, and finally making some progress on issues that you've been hanging on for too long with. Okay, and Venus also enters Cancer, which for you will bring some support in your daily life, your work relationships, and your well-being. Okay, what I'd watch out for is the Mercury retrograde period coming at the end of June. And since you're already in Mercury Mahadasha, this may bring some old issues back. Okay, some old situation that you thought you already had settled. Okay, so we can see some good things here as well. It's a great time to review, revise, reconnect, and fix things. Okay, just don't rush into making decisions. Don't sign any unnecessary documents. Don't assume everyone is your friend or communicating clearly. If somebody gives you an information, you have to check that information. It may be something completely wrong. Overall, it's a less dramatic month for you. But Saturn, is teaching you patience, okay? While Jupiter is helping you clean up the mess in some areas of your life that needs attention. So my advice would be focus on your health, your routine, your finances, and practical goals. The more organized you are now, the more you'll benefit from the opportunities that will develop later in the year, okay? Okay, so the next person, mine is June 7, 1979, India. I'm suffering in every way from March 2014, job losses, full of debt. Since then, what does my career and finances look like going forward? So I would love to read your chart, but I don't have your time of birth. Can you please comment again your time of birth? I'll do your thing, okay? Next comment, is this tropical or Vedic astrology? Thank you so much. Yes, it is Vedic astrology. But starting off the transit on a bad note, family issues and differences involving father and wife suddenly sprung up, causing huge mental frustration. Okay, sorry to hear that, okay? That's a very good example of why I say that transits don't work in isolation, okay? And for Pisces ascendant, which I'm assuming you're a Pisces because you commented on the Pisces video, Jupiter entering Cancer is generally positive because Jupiter moves into the 5th house, but the 5th house is not only happiness or good luck, okay? It also aspects your 9th house of father, your family expectations, your social circles, okay? So sometimes when Jupiter enters a new house, it doesn't immediately bring rewards. It first highlights those areas that need attention. So in your case, it seems like that this transit may have exposed some tension that has been already sitting there beneath the surface between your father and your wife, okay? Jupiter tends to bring all these things in the open, okay? So they can be dealt with properly, okay? It doesn't always feels positive in the moment, but definitely the results may become positive later on. And my advice would be not to judge this entire transit based on the first few days, okay? And wait for the whole thing to take full effect. Jupiter usually stays here for about a year, so 5 months to 1 year. So the opening chapter of a transit often looks very different from the ending. What I'm saying is, okay? Now, anyway, good luck with their wife and father. Next comment, great idea. However, Saturn is in Pisces, my 8th house for Leo Lagna. So you're absolutely right. For Leo ascendants, Saturn in Pisces, your 8th house transit. So the focus is often on deep changes, okay? Healing, shared finances, letting go of old patterns. The good news is Saturn tend to strengthen whatever survives this process. Okay, it's not always comfortable, but it's often very meaningful. All right, and hang in there. All the best. Okay, I was born on February 26, 1991, India, at 10 a.m. Can you read my chart, please? I think I have challenging moon in my natal chart, but that's not surprising based on my childhood. I wanted to see where my career-based aspect might be looking like. That's in store for me based on my career, since I feel like I'm at crossroads right now. Okay, 1 second. Okay, looking at your chart now, it's quite obvious where you're at crossroads, because you have Aries ascendant with your 10th house lord Saturn sitting in Rahu in Capricorn, which brings unusual career paths suddenly. There might be changes in your career. There might be periods where you're forced to rethink your direction, and you're currently running the Venus Mahadasha, and Venus rules your 2nd and 7th house with Jupiter, which is now moving into your 4th house. This is less about rushing into a new career and more about building a stronger foundation first. Okay, the good thing is that the career growth can come through networking with people, through partnerships, okay, through teaching, helping others. But you need to be careful to not make any major career decisions just because you're frustrated with where you are now. And the chart actually looks more like a course correction period rather than a dead end, you know. And sometimes being at a crossroad means you're finally outgrowing the road you've been on, guy. Okay? So, actually looks fine. Just hang in there. Okay, so you know what? I decided to go through your D10 chart, and looking at your D10, I can see why you feel like you're at crossroads right now. Okay, your D10 shows that you have a strong 10th house Mercury, okay, and there are multiple planets connected to the 11th house of network gains and community. Okay, this is usually the chart of someone who will succeed through communication, through advising other people and helping other people. Okay, you need to build connections. You cannot work alone. Okay, the reason I don't see this as a career issue is because Saturn is delaying. Okay, it delays clarity. It doesn't deny it. Sometimes it creates a period where you're asked to reassess your direction before the next option or the next chapter of your life begins. So with Jupiter, which is moving into your 4th house, my feeling is that this year is more about strengthening your base, you know, your foundation. Make smart long-term choices. Okay, don't make sudden career moves. Okay, trust the process. Okay, I hope that helped. Thanks. Okay, and one more thing, looking at a chart, you said your moon is affected. I would say, I wouldn't call your moon weak, okay, but I think it's sensitive. Your moon is in Cancer, which is its own sign, okay, which gives you very strong intuition. It gives you very strong emotional depth. The challenge is that it absorbs all these experiences very deeply, okay, your childhood experiences, your family dynamics whatsoever. So rather than a damaged moon, I describe it as a moon that can feel things very intensely, okay, and you carry it for a very long time. The good news is that this placement, it becomes stronger as you grow up, as you age. Okay, the older you get, it gets stronger, and your emotional boundaries are going to improve. Okay, all right, hope that helped. Thanks. Love the unique reading, beautifully articulated. It's men's mental health awareness. Yes, it is. Thank you so much for the comment. I like the reading. Thank you. I'm double Pisces Capricorn Moon. Yes. Thank you so much, guys.